In this video, I'm going to explain 17 signs that your ex might want you back. It's important to understand that any one of these signs could also just be a trick by the woman where she's trying to keep the guy around for a while to move on, or she's trying to get him to show more interest in her so she then feels good about herself, etc. Right? So none of these signs here are absolute 100% guarantees that your ex wants you back. However, here is the really important part. When getting a woman back, you must look at these signs in a positive light. Right? The more confident you are when getting a woman back, the easier it is to get her back. If a guy isn't confident, what's he going to be doing? He's going to be hesitating to text his ex. He's going to be hesitating to call her up on the phone. He's going to worry about her saying no if he asks her to meet up with him. And he's also not going to be very confident when he talks to her on the phone and when he interacts with her in person. Right? You must be confident when getting a woman back, because women are not attracted to the emotional weakness of men. If you're being insecure and self-doubting when you're trying to get a woman back, she will feel turned off and it will be much more difficult to get her back. Yet when you are confident, you then have that confidence to text her, get her on a phone call, make her laugh and smile when you're talking to her on the phone, make her feel attracted to you and respect you when you interact with her in person, and confidently make a move when the time is right to get her to hug you, kiss you, or have sex with you again. Okay, so now I'm going to explain these 17 signs that your ex might want you back. Number 1, she contacts you without you contacting her. Now here's a classic example of where a guy could be insecure if he wanted to, or he could be confident if he wanted to, right? If a guy is trying to get his woman back and she contacts him and he's insecure, he might be thinking things like, oh, well, this doesn't mean that she likes me. She's just trying to contact me to see if, I'm still missing her, or maybe she, just wants to find something out, or maybe she's just contacting me because she wants to be friendly, or because she feels sorry for me, or whatever. And having those sort of insecure, self-doubting mindsets. However, what a guy needs to do when getting a woman back is be confident, right? So when you see that she contacts you without you contacting her, you've got to smile and say, she wants to get in touch with me because she misses me. That then allows you to talk, think, feel, behave, and act in a more confident way, which is much more productive when getting a woman back than being insecure. The next example is she likes your posts on social media. Once again, she could just be clicking like for the heck of it, right? Or she might want to just mess with you. You can think in that insecure way if you want to, but I don't recommend it, right? If you want to get a woman back, you've got to be confident. When you see her clicking like on your posts, look at it in a positive light and say, right, she wants me to contact her. She wants me to meet up with her. She's missing me. She's trying to show me that she's still thinking about me, or that she's still open to us interacting. If she didn't want to interact with me, she wouldn't click like. She would just ignore me altogether. Right? Look at it in a positive light and feel confident as a result. The next example is she wants to meet up or is open to meeting up. So when a woman wants to meet up with her ex-boyfriend, fiance, or husband to talk about the relationship, that's a pretty obvious sign that she might want him back. However, not all women are that easy when a guy is trying to get them back. Some women are just a little bit open to meeting up. So the woman might be saying things like, yeah, or, we can catch up, but I'll, have to think about it. Or, yeah, maybe I can catch up with you next week. Or maybe I can catch up with you for a coffee, in 2 days' time, but I can only stay for like 10, 15 minutes. Regardless of the amount of interest that your woman is showing you, you've got to look at any type of sign that she's either willing to meet up or she wants to meet up as her being open to getting back together with you. When you meet up with her in person, what you've got to do is make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you, right? So the mistakes that you're making in the relationship, she's going to have to see that you've started to change. For example, if a guy got dumped because he was emotionally insecure and he was emotionally sensitive and he just wasn't enough of a man for her, when he interacts with her, he's going to need to show her by the way that he thinks, talks, behaves, and acts that he's now an emotionally strong man. By doing that, she starts to feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for him, and her guard comes down, and then the guy can guide her back into a relationship. The next example is she wants to be friends with you. Of course, sometimes when a woman wants to be friends with her ex, she just wants to do that to keep him around so she feels good about herself, right? She can then say, I've got a new boyfriend, I'm so happy and things, and just put her ex-boyfriend, fiance, or husband through a bad time and get emotional revenge on him for how he made her feel in the relationship. Yet, if you're trying to get a woman back, there's no benefit in thinking about the negatives like that and thinking about it in an insecure way. You have to be confident and look at it in a positive light. So her saying that she wants to remain friends, you've got to see that as, okay, she wants to have me around because it hurts her to have me out of her life. What you need to do then is use the so-called friendship as a way to continue to interact with her. And when you interact with her via text, on the phone, or in person, you continue to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you, and her guard comes down, and you can then guide her back into a relationship with you. The next example of a sign that your ex might want you back is she is talking about you and your relationship in a positive way. This might seem like a pretty obvious one where the woman is continuing to talk about her ex-boyfriend, fiance, or husband in a good way, right? But not all guys see it like that. I help guys via my phone coaching service every day now, and I often hear examples where the woman is saying positive things about my client, and she's talking about the good times, and then my client's asking me, well, does that mean that she still has some feelings for me? Does that mean that I still have a chance to get her back? Here's the thing though, there is no guarantee that it means she wants him back. But there's also no point in thinking about it in an insecure way. A guy can think in an insecure way if he wants to, but it just doesn't help in life and with women, right? So when a guy hears that his ex-woman is talking about their relationship in a positive light, he must be confident about it. He must think, she's missing me. Cool. I've still got a chance here. I've got to get her to meet up with me in person, and I'm going to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for me, and I'm going to guide her back into a relationship. Number 6, she talks about good times that you and her shared. So if you happen to be talking to your ex on the phone or in person, and she brings up good times that you and her shared before, that is a sign that she's still emotionally open to you. When a woman is trying to block a guy out of her life and she doesn't have any feelings for him at a particular point, she won't want to bring up those good memories because she won't want to give him any hope unless she wants to be mean and get emotional revenge on him by giving him hope and then continuing to reject him. Right, but in most cases, when a woman brings up the good times and she's open to talking about that and open to feeling good about the memories, it means that a guy has a chance to make her feel more respect and attraction for him and get her reconnecting with the love that she once felt for him and then guide her back into a relationship. The next example, she replies to your texts, emails, or social media comments. Of course, some women do that just to mess with the guy, but really there's no point thinking like that. If you want to get a woman back, you've got to be confident. So if you see that your ex is replying to your texts, emails, and social media comments or messages, then you've got to think about it in a positive light. You've got to be confident about it. You've got to believe in yourself that you really do have a chance of getting her to meet up with you, getting her to feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you, getting her to reconnect with the love, and then guiding her back into a relationship. If you don't have that confidence, getting a woman back is difficult. Number 8, she keeps asking if you are dating or in a relationship. Of course, a woman could just be asking this because she's just fairly interested or whatever. She doesn't really care. She just wants to ask. But again, there's no point thinking like that. If your ex-girlfriend, fiance, or wife is asking you if you're dating and in a relationship, just look at that as her wanting to find out whether you're moving on. Because if you are, it means that she's losing a guy that she still cares about. You can decide to think that she doesn't care about you and have feelings for you if you want to, but that isn't going to help you get a woman back. The next example, she is sad and lonely without you. When guys are trying to get women back, they're often in a situation where the woman is happy without them. You know, she starts moving on or she acts as though she's happy without them. So this isn't a very common one, but I have come across this example at times where a woman is sad and lonely without her guy around. She'll post things up on social media about how much life sucks and how bad it hurts to go through a breakup, etc. So if you do notice that your ex isn't very happy without you, then look at that in a positive light. Right? Look at it as a sign that she might actually want to get back with you because she's just not that happy without you. Number 10, she drunk texts you or calls you by accident. Some guys get that accidental phone call from their ex and she says, I meant to call someone else or I meant to text someone else. A guy can look at that in an insecure way if he wants to and can say, oh, well, maybe she did make a mistake by calling me. Maybe she did intend to text someone else. Damn it. I thought she might have liked me. But that's not going to help a guy get his woman back. The best way to look at it is, she likes me, she's trying to get in contact with me, she misses me, she wants to get some sort of interaction going on between me and her because she misses me, she wants to get back with me, end of story. Just think in a confident way, and then as a result of that confidence, get her on a phone call, get her to meet up with you, get her to feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you at the meetup, and guide her back into a relationship. Number 11, she tries to look her best when she meets you. Women know that the most attractive thing about them to men is their physical appearance. So if a woman meets up with a guy and she's dressed herself up really well and looking sexy, looking beautiful, a guy can look at that as, she's trying to make me feel bad and rub it in my face that I'm not with her anymore. He can think like that if he wants to, but it's not going to help. The best way to think about it is she still cares enough to want to look good for me. If she didn't care what I thought, she wouldn't even go to any effort to look good. The next example, she doesn't start dating anyone else for a month or more. Sometimes when a guy breaks up with a girl or she breaks up with him, she won't go out there and start dating for a while. This may be because they had a long-term relationship and she's just not ready for dating, or it could also be that she just doesn't want to move on yet without him. She's not that sure. So when a guy is in a situation where his ex doesn't move on quickly, I always recommend that the guy looks at that in a positive light. The reason for looking at it in a positive light is that it then allows a guy to be confident and get her on a phone call, get her to meet up with him, and get her back into a relationship. In a situation like this, some guys waste a lot of time. They see that their ex isn't moving on, and what does the guy do? He ignores her. He thinks, all right, well, I just won't contact her then. And, she's going to come running back to me. And it doesn't happen. She eventually starts dating a guy because she realizes that her relationship isn't getting back together, or she gets to the point where she's ready to start dating again. So if you're going through a breakup with your woman and she's not moving on very quickly, or she didn't move on very quickly, look at it as a positive sign that she might want you back, and then get her back. By the way, I understand that some guys watching this video are already way past that point where they've broken up with a woman, she waited for a while, and then she started dating, or even she moved on very quickly. If you're at either of those points, what really matters is you getting her to feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you when you interact with her via text, on the phone, and in person. Don't worry about what has happened since the breakup. No doubt you'll have made some mistakes. Pretty much every guy makes a handful of mistakes when he's trying to get a woman back. Don't worry about the mistakes. What matters is you getting her to feel something for you again, getting her to meet up with you, and getting the relationship back together. Another sign that your ex might want you back is she doesn't want to tell you about any dates she's been on. This is a classic example of where a woman doesn't want to push her guy too far away by, shoving it in his face that she's dating other guys. She wants to keep it secret or quiet for a while so she can figure out what she's going to do. Sometimes she wants to keep it quiet for a while because she doesn't want her guy to move on before she does, but in other times, she doesn't want to tell him because, there's just guys who are interested in her and she's opening herself up to dating, but she's not really sure whether she wants to hook up with those guys or be in a committed relationship with them. So she decides not to tell her guy about that just in case it makes things worse. Of course, sometimes a woman doesn't want to tell her ex-man about dates she's being on because she's really annoyed by him and, he may have been a real pain in the butt through the breakup process and being very clingy and begging her for another chance, pleading, hassling her and things like that. And she just doesn't want to have any substantial communication with him at that point. If a guy is in that situation, it doesn't mean that he's completely lost his chance to get his woman back. There are ways for him to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for him, and I explain that in my program, Get Your Ex Back Super System. Number 14, she hugs or kisses you in a warm way. If a woman doesn't have any feelings for a guy, she's going to try to avoid physical contact with him, or if she hugs him, she's going to hug him in a cold way. Of course, there are some women who like to mess with guys' minds, and sometimes a woman will give her ex a warm hug, so he then thinks he's got a chance, and she then leads him on and uses all of his attention and pleading and begging to make herself feel better about herself. But that's not going to help a guy get his ex back. If your woman gives you a warm hug or she is at least open to hugging you and holding you when you meet up with her, you've got to look at that as a sign that she wants you back. Be confident about it. The next example, she asks about women in your social media posts or women at work. Now, when a woman is asking her ex-man about women that she's seen in his social media posts or women that he knows at work, it can mean that she is feeling a bit jealous and a bit worried that he's going to move on with one of those women. Of course, it can also mean that she's simply asking because she's hoping that he's then going to say, oh no, those women don't mean anything to me, I want you, and then she feels better about herself. However, thinking in that negative, insecure way isn't going to help a guy get his woman back. So if your ex asks you about any women in your life, just look at it as a positive. Look at it as her feeling threatened, as her feeling less than compared to these women, and her feeling worried that you're going to move on and be with a better woman than her, and then she's going to regret it. Use her questioning, her interest to feel confident about yourself. When you're confident, you're then going to start thinking, talking, behaving, feeling, and acting in the right way. You're going to have the confidence to guide her back into a relationship with you. The next example is that she says maybe to getting back together. Sometimes when I'm helping guys get their ex back, there are examples where the woman says, we'll see about getting back together, or maybe, or the door's not fully closed, but I can't say yes right now. Like, she'll give out those sort of maybe 50-50, I'm not sure statements. What you got to do is look at that as her still having some feelings for you, but you're just not making her feel enough yet to cause her to really want to be back with you. If you want her to have a lot of feelings for you and want to get back with you, you've got to use every interaction that you have with her as an opportunity to make her feel some respect, attraction, and love for you again. Every interaction. And I'm talking when you're texting her, when you're on the phone, and when you're in person. Even when she's looking at what you're up to on social media. Every type of interaction, whether it's direct or indirect, has to be used as an opportunity to make her feel something for you. You've got to start rebuilding her feelings for you. In the final example, she says that she misses you. Of course, she might just be tricking the guy. She might just be saying that to give him hope and then make him show her lots of interest so she feels good about herself. Yet, as you would know by now, that isn't going to help a guy get his ex back, right? If a woman says to you that she misses you, you've got to be confident about it. You've got to see it as a positive. You've got to look at it as a sign that she wants you back. Okay, so I hope this video has been helpful to you. If your ex is not giving you any of these signs, or she's not really giving you strong signals, what you need to do is start to be active about the way that you make her feel respect, attraction, and love for you again. A lot of the guys that I help to get their ex back, they've wasted a lot of time ignoring their ex. They've also wasted a lot of time trying to convince the woman to give them another chance. Yet, that doesn't work in most cases. Ignoring a woman usually only works when she still has feelings for the guy, or she can't move on without him because it's hard for her to find a replacement guy, or she doesn't have much experience with relationships and can't handle the pain of the breakup. She will then contact her guy and want to get back with him. But in most of the cases that I see, the woman has had enough. Right? She doesn't have feelings for the guy at the point of the breakup. And when he starts to ignore her, she just uses that time to move on without him. The other example is convincing a woman to give you another chance. That only works a few times, sometimes several times, in certain relationships where the woman has lost a bit of respect and attraction for her guy, and he's trying to convince her that he's going to change, and then she gives him another chance. However, when a woman is at the point where she's had enough, all of the reasoning and explanations and begging and pleading just doesn't work anymore. What needs to happen is a change. You need to change the way that you're interacting with her. And that means change the way that you're talking to her, responding to what she's saying, behaving around her, feeling, and taking action. If you need help with that, I have an amazing step-by-step program that will guide you through the process of getting a woman back. Going through this process transforms you into a better man than you are right now. You might be a great guy, but you can be better. You might be able to make her feel some level of respect and attraction for you, but you can do better. And if you want to get a woman back who doesn't want you back right now, you're going to need to do better. My program will explain for you exactly what you need to say and do to make her feel a renewed sense of respect and attraction for you, reconnect with the love, and give the relationship another chance. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something from it. If you have learned something from the video, I would really appreciate it if you could click like on the video to show your support, and I'll see you in the next video.